I'm going to share with you 5 reasons why I think coppiced wood is amazing firewood, and it's the only wood that I'm really burning anymore. Now, maybe you'll agree with my reasoning and maybe you won't. Let me know what you think in the comments. Now let's get to it. The first thing that I love about coppiced wood for firewood is the fact that I don't need to split it. When I cut my coppice, it's going to be something like this to this in diameter. Now, some people let it get a little bit wider. You can let it get 6, 7, 8 inches wide, perhaps, depending on what you're doing. I've seen a lot of coppice stands where they do harvest around 8-inch wide, so you'd call that more of a genuine log at that point. But even then, 8 inches wide, you don't need to split it for most wood stove operations. So if I'm doing a coppice type wood, I don't have to split it. Even if I wanted to split the biggest pieces, I can do it with a hatchet. I don't need a wood splitter or a maul or never need a wedge. It's easier for that respect. Reason number 2, the second thing that I really like about coppiced wood is that it dries fast. Because it is skinny, it dries fast. I can take a bunch of this coppiced wood and just cut it green and pile it up in the sun, and in about a month it's pretty cured as long as it's been in the sun with some good airflow. And maybe if I have some of the bigger pieces, more like 6 to 8 inch in diameter, I probably would split those up if I really needed them to dry quickly, because even then, 3 months in the sun, it's cured up pretty well and dry. It goes quick. Reason number 3 why I love this coppiced wood is it's great for cooking. Now, I know most people don't cook on their wood stove. I do. If you want to cook on a wood stove, there's a couple awesome ways to do it. There's a lot of tips and tricks, but the biggest thing of all is generally smaller wood works better. And that's because, number 1, I can have a more controlled, more consistent burn if I just use smaller pieces. I can add to it a little bit at a time more evenly. It's the same principle with a pellet stove. They have the auger or the hopper fed systems, and it just drips a few pellets down to maintain temperature consistently so you don't have hot and cold periods. If I want to cook on a wood stove, I need a fairly consistent temperature, especially for baking with. So if I have more smaller pieces of approximately the same diameter, which is basically what we get from all of our coppiced and pollard wood, it's going to run at a lot more consistent temperature, and I can put a little more in. I can control it much better than just using big pieces. The next reason I love coppiced wood for burning is because I don't need a saw to harvest it. Now, I did cut these with a saw. I just used my bow saw out there. And you could use a chainsaw if you have one, but you don't need it. All of my coppiced wood, it's thin enough that I can use just an axe. I mean, this here is a piece of black oak. I could take this out with an axe, 2 or 3 chops and the whole thing's done. If I just lay this on a stump, I can, one good chop with a sharp axe is going right through that and right through that. Now I've got 3 burnable pieces. Something like this. Ironwood, it's definitely denser. I do have a few coppiced ironwood trees out here. But even that, I can cut through this with a bow saw. I can cut through it with any basic hand saw. I can use an axe or a hatchet or a machete. I don't need a chainsaw. So it's a lot simpler for a lot of people because I don't need to. I have a chainsaw sitting in the back there. It doesn't start good when it's cold. It doesn't always start that easy anyways. But I can anytime go out with a sharp hatchet or a sharp axe or a sharp machete, my bow saw, and I can whack down all the coppiced wood I need to. And that's really awesome in my opinion. It's just pretty nifty and handy. The last thing that I really like about coppiced wood for fuel wood is that it's a higher yield. I can get 2 to 3 times the yield of pounds of wood per acre, or BTUs per acre. I can get twice the heat value per tree if I just coppice. They regrow so fast. And I can put the trees closer together as well because they're not getting monstrously huge. I'm growing them smaller. Usually I'll cut these down somewhere around 20 feet tall, and I'll have something like this to this at the base of a 20-foot tall tree for fuel wood. A lot of them we do cut down shorter. That's because I'm using them for animal feed too, so I'm not letting them get too tall. I need to harvest those leaves yet. But I get a much higher yield with a small area with coppiced wood. It is more time consuming and more time intensive, but I need less equipment to handle it. It cures a lot faster. I can literally cut this stuff green in the summer and burn it in the winter. It's great for cooking because it's that smaller size piece, and I can really harvest a lot more in a small area. Those are the 5 reasons why I love coppiced wood, and that's really all I'm figuring on burning anymore for firewood. Do you agree or disagree? Let me know what you think. I gotta get to my chores, so I'll catch you later. Bye now.